One of the most common questions that I get asked during client engagements around the world is how to sustain change in an organization. In fact, several of my videos touch on this, but in this video, I'm doubling down and giving you my hard-earned perspective and expertise on this very question. Let's get it. By the end of this video, you're going to be armed with 4 proven tips that will enable the next change that you lead for your business or organization to actually stick. Nurture trust, inspire belief, create and communicate evidence of what you want them to believe, and finally, acknowledge your setbacks and use them as opportunity. The first tip to sustaining change within your organization is to nurture trust. One of the most important ingredients when you're looking to engage an organization through a change journey and to make that change stick is trust. Without it, your employees will become disengaged or they'll never really get on board with that change. So honestly, before you even think about introducing a change into a workforce, you need to make sure that you're taking action to nurture trust throughout every level of the organization. Nurturing trust to do what you say you're going to do. Also, creating a track record in project delivery, business delivery, and delivering the mission of the business, such that there's this fabric of trust throughout every individual in the organization. That's going to put you in the best possible position for employees to actually very quickly get on board and want to move with you through the change journey. And not only that, but actually want to bring the change sustainably to life. You must be nurturing trust. The second tip is inspire belief. Now, this is something I talk about all the time because I firmly believe it. I think the only way for you to sustain change within your organization is to sustain the belief that's required for making that change a reality. When you haven't understood what individuals actually need to believe in their heart of hearts in order to make that change a reality, then you're going to be missing something in the stickiness of that change. Understand, what is my team? What is my organization? What are the individuals that comprise this organization? What do they need to be believing in order to bring this change to reality? And make sure that you're nurturing that belief by role modeling it in yourself, as well as finding those early adopters that are also going to be embracing and embodying that belief. All right, before we go into tips 3 and 4, make sure you click this button below my face. Subscribe to this channel. I drop content like this all the time, striving to deliver value to help nurture your growth through even your greatest change challenges. So please make sure you subscribe, like, notification, clicks, something going on below my face to make sure you're notified the next time a new video drops. All right, let's get back into it. The third tip is to create and communicate evidence of what you want them to believe. Remember, belief by nature is putting trust in something unseen. Well, when you can create the evidence of that belief actually being true, that's going to help the belief to get adopted by more throughout the organization. So let me give an example of this. Working with organizations all around the world, a lot of them are striving to have a much more diverse and inclusive organization. And so they're looking to nurture a pipeline of diverse candidates. And that means they're looking at different universities, different reservoirs of potential talent. And so to create the evidence, they're following those diverse candidates, the ones that are coming in from perhaps a different university or a different talent pool than what they've been engaged in previously, and showing how that individual is thriving, showing the impact that that individual, that talent, is having on the organization to prove, this is the right direction to be going. By introducing the diversity of thought, the diversity of background, of culture, belief, etc., we're actually creating a more engaged and inclusive organization and better business results. So whatever it is that you want your organization to believe as it relates to that change, as soon as you have those small wins, as soon as you have the evidence that this is the right thing for them to believe, show that, communicate that, and that's going to help build momentum so that more people begin to trust or believe in the mission and the vision that you're striving to create and bringing that change into reality. The fourth and final tip is to acknowledge the setbacks and ultimately use them as an opportunity. You know, I've worked with, countless amounts of organizations, inspiring growth through change, helping them move through their greatest change challenges and transformations. And I will tell you that setbacks and failure is a natural part of the change journey. But the worst thing that you can do is to ignore it or make individuals in the organization nervous or anxious or apprehensive of sharing about setbacks and failures. Allow them to be elevated, not just the setback that happened, but the learning that was gained because of it. Use those setbacks as an opportunity. Here's something that happened through the change effort. This is something that we want to sidestep in the future. Here's what we learned through the setback. This is going to grant permission to the organization to have a little bit of a slide back or a slip back, as I call it, and know that it'll be okay. All we have to do is communicate, this is what we've learned. This is how we're going to mitigate doing the same thing moving forward in the future. That's going to be the best way for you to create that stickiness of the change, because individuals are not going to be fearful about making mistakes or about having a bit of a slide back or a setback as they're trying to bring that change to life. It's a journey, and it takes patience as well as learning from failure, mistakes, and setbacks. Speaking of sustaining change in an organization and leading others through change, I got something else for you completely for free. I actually want to share a keynote recording snippet. A recording of a keynote that I delivered to an organization going through tremendous change internally and externally. Specifically the portion where I'm sharing insights and thoughts around how to nurture the growth of others when they're going through really big change challenges. And it's yours today for free. All you got to do is click on the link below. I want to make sure you have the data, the insights, the research to accelerate your growth through even your greatest change challenges. I'm Cassandra Worthy, and until we meet again, keep growing and keep rocking.